Happy weekend, everybody. Saturday could have come slower. Basically, I work shift or swing shift, and so my days are very skewed. Saturday is my Monday, but doesn't matter a whole lot. I'm gonna introduce you to Lilit. This is Lilit. She's our Maine Coon. We got her when she was 4 weeks old and weighed only 9 ounces. Let me tilt this down a bit so you can see her, because you don't want to see me at this point. She was still young enough we had to get kitten formula for her. And we had gotten her first. Then we got Helen later on because cats are apparently very social creatures and need second cats to have friends. Apparently that's law in some states. Say you can't get a cat unless you already have a cat, or you're getting 2 cats, which I find is just really weird. Megan says the reason we have cats is because I have epic charisma. Our landlord said maybe once you've proven a record of paying on time and not causing any problems, you could have an outside dog. But after about a year, we said, hey, all the stuff for getting rid of mice isn't working. Could we just get a cat? And he said, sure. Then, about 6 months later, we said, could we get another one? And he said, sure. So both of our cats are very special interest cases. According to U.S. law, they don't hold on to cats unless they are 8 weeks or older, because then they're allowed to be away from their mother. Yet, we'd gotten Lilit when she was about 4 weeks. And then Helen, we'd gotten her when she was blind, and that makes her unadoptable, apparently, which I really don't get our attitude towards animals in that regard. I'm not going to go to the extreme and say how would we treat humans this way, because as much as Helen and Lilit are members of my family, they're cats. I could get Lilit fixed. I got Lilit fixed, so she can't have kids. I did that voluntarily and by my own choice. Okay, thank you for sticking around, honey. Go have fun. But animals play a very interesting role with humans. Pets, food, medicinal purposes. And that's one of the reasons I grew to love Juniper Crescent as I was writing it, was that I could manipulate that relationship more. Especially with creatures that, for the most part, we don't get to see in real life. Especially Oksana, who's the main character. I've never gotten to see a cheetah in real life, but she got to interact with one on a very genetic level. And I don't know, she, I guess, is based on some friends I had when I was in college. I had met them through my older brother, and they were both very parental figures to begin with, which was weird. That was just their personality. It wasn't coaxed, or they didn't feel a need to. It was just how they acted, which led to a lot of interesting conversations, which also led to a lot of weird dates. Not that I got to ever date them. I was socially inept at that age. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. But I got a chance to go visit Venice for a week, and that was when I really started to discover certain things about this person that I liked and could identify, yes, this is a guy worth liking. and writing came about as a part of it. So, utilizing these two friends, Heather and Tiffany, really felt like I could safely interact with them. Because apparently, clearly, I wasn't doing a good job as a human being interacting with them, but I could create safe spaces in writing. And of course, I had to make them both very different, so they both became Oksana, and I kind of put myself into Nick. Gosh, that sounds pathetic, doesn't it? I mean, it's not. I really hope this doesn't turn into the, Trilby, tip the hat, milady stereotype. Oh, I'm creating a fantasy with you in it. No. But inevitably, an author only writes about him or herself. That's just the truth of it. They're never going to write about something that isn't them. Psychologically, you could analyze every book and find out stuff about the author. Doesn't mean you know them, or that you're friends with them, but I think that's another reason why writing is a level of exposure. Because that very deeply, genuinely is that person who wrote it. Which is sad that only so many books get to be popular enough to be published by the big six. The big companies that have marketers and PR people and teams of people to make sure everything gets done right. It's just turned storytelling into a lottery. Like any other job with that level of exposure, like songwriting. I'm not going to say acting, because seriously, that's just a matter of who you know and who you sleep with. That's an industry I think needs a serious shake-up, but that's neither here nor there. Songwriting, drawing, webcomics, these are all forms of storytelling, can be forms of storytelling, especially with songwriting. We really don't like ballads anymore. Why do we not like ballads? We can go back to that here, because that was a great way to tell stories. But these all require a very sincere level of self-exposure. So inevitably, when you're reading a book by a local author or someone you know, read it a little deeper. See if you can find events or ideas or thoughts that are very genuinely that person. I've actually gotten to have a good conversation where a fan had said, hey, is this conversation this one thing that occurred? Or is this part of the book this one thing? Okay, yes, we had to sit down and chatted for a good half an hour, but for me as a person, it gave me a safe place to say, okay, here's what happened, here's what I felt, here's what I liked, didn't like, and interactions there, so on and so forth. But then other stuff started happening for me. But the same is going to be true of every author. I don't care if you're Brandon Sanderson, J.R.R. Tolkien, Stephen King. They write about what they know. They write about who they are, inevitably. Which might make you wonder about people like Lewis Carroll, or, oh gosh, who's the guy? Kafka? Metamorphosis? That guy? But you're going to see what's important to them. So, if you've got a favorite author, let them know. Write a review, please. That is honestly the best way to support your author. Write reviews. Even if you haven't bought the book from that particular site you're writing a review on, write the review. Tell them about it. find even just that one point of emotional connection from that one scene that really didn't matter in the whole crux of the storyline, but meant something to you. Because every time you do that, you're letting that author know that that level of exposure, that point of exposure was worth something. Okay? Go out and do something great today.